Ariel in there with ace, king, 8-4. Nut flush draw. Yen, king, 10, 6, 7. So some different hands here. Looks like Yen has pretty much just a 7 and a gut shot. And Henry flopped pretty well. He flopped the wrap and a deuce, although he doesn't have a flush draw. But that's, after raising pre, that's a good flop. And no one has a flush draw. Although Matt has a mystery hand, he could have a flush draw. But Henry is a huge favorite here, as you see. So Matt has called. So again, you know, we haven't seen his hand, but no one had spades. So we assume he has something, spades, some kind of overpair with spades, pair and gut shot, 2 pair. Those are the kind of hands that tend to flat call.
4 rolls off, and Henry still shoves it.
Yeah, and for only 115, I imagine Matt's going to call with whatever he called with on the flop. But it could just be like something like a, you know, king high flush draw, queen high flush draw with just 1 pair, something like that. Or maybe 6, 7, 8. Just we're getting pretty good odds, so because there's no like, I mean there's no, okay, so the spade got there. And yeah, Matt had the nut flush draw and a 9, so yeah, he had a easy call. Top pair, top kicker, nut flush draw, no straight out there. Henry's toast.
That's all she wrote. So in the beginning, Henry.
There was Adam.
Henry played a hand. I thought it was pretty awesome the way he was shoving the action.
Yeah.
He was forcing his opponent to fold aces. And then I saw Henry shove every hand all night.
Every hand, yeah.
And things changed.
You got to pick your, somewhere in between.
Yes.
Once people see you shoving a lot of hands, especially in PLO, you're just going to have to show up with it in certain spots. But you know, those kind of spots, you know, you play a hand like 10-8, 10-8 jack deuce, you flop a wrap and a pair, and you're short. You know, those are just standard spots. But there's other spots where you're just completely bluffing or it's multi-way, and you just got to know that shutting down is by far the best play, just by straight math of like all the cards that are out. So. Whereas, you know, conversely in No Limit Hold'em, there's just way more spots where you can just kind of bet.
Shove it, yeah.
Yeah, you can just bet because, you know, it's hard for someone to have a really strong hand. So it's like, even when, you know, your first C-bet doesn't work, if you're an aggressive player and you have good instincts, you can get them to fold top pair sometimes. But, you know, in PLO, they're not going to fold the wrap, or they're not going to fold enough flush draw, they're not going to fold certain hands. So you really have to maneuver, find the right spots. So Seth has he has open-ender and like a Broadway draw and the nut flush draw, although the board is paired. Con has trips, no backup, just queen jack 7-5. And Matt with just a king. Oh, wait. Well, I'm looking at, oh, wow, I was looking at Roger's hand like it was the flop. Wow. That just happened. Okay, so now an actual flop, and Seth has middle pair, open ender, nut flush draw. It sounded like what he had before on the fake flop, and Con just has pair and a gut shot. Matt has bottom two pair, but not very strong in this spot. Roger has an overpair, top pair, and the king high flush draw, so he's going to put some money in as well. Although, you know, Seth has a really big hand here.
Guess what Roger does?
Yeah, everyone.
So Seth bet and everybody called. Roger shoves back to Seth.
Yeah, Roger was short, so.
Let's look at seat 7. Seth, the action's on him. There we go. And now he's got the luxury of, well, could be a luxury, but also be, you know, he has to wonder, like, oh, no, did somebody possibly call with a straight? Would they have just called with a straight, right?
Yeah, I mean,
what should I do here? Should he shove?
it's interesting. Usually people wouldn't. They might call it a straight, but I think shoving or calling is fine. Like if you call, sometimes you make more money that way because you get everyone else to call, and then like
Hopefully
you hit your hand
yeah.
and they hit their hand also, something like that. But you know, sometimes you re-raise, they play anyway, and you're gambling against that player. So different things can happen. I think his hand is big, so. The thing is, you know, sometimes you call and you let someone else call that beats the all-in player, but you would have beaten the all-in player,
Yes.
just how it ran out. So, yeah. So, did Alan shove?
Seth called Roger. Alan now shoved, yes,
Okay.
with his aces.
Oh, and an open-ender.
Yeah.
So by Seth flatting, you also get, someone to reshove into you, and you get more on your money, like you really want people to play, like when you have this big a draw. But sometimes you just want to, you don't want to gamble. And I mean, I imagine Alan probably would have folded if Seth shoved, just because all he has is the open-ender. Like the aces don't really count in this spot because they kind of count, but it's just unlikely they're going to be as... I mean, they happen to count here. Did aces win this?
Aces wins this, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he had to dodge an 8, 7, 9, 10, jack, 6, club, 5. No, not 5. So, yeah. And you also, sometimes you call with Seth's hand, and then the turn is bad. It pairs the board, or it just doesn't give you the nuts or anything. And then you don't want to get played off your hand. You really want to realize your equity. So, what if someone shoves into you now? You put yourself in this situation where you want to just fold. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. I don't have all the answers, Nicole. God. What the hell? Anything on the chat over here of relevance? I always look maybe twice a show to see random,
Deep thoughts.
jib jab. I win 5K in a poker tourney and bring it home. My wife says, "Hey, do I get half?" I walk her over to the mirror and say, "My half is in my hand. Your half is in the mirror. Your problem is how to spend it." 2 days later, I see she has bought 10 pairs of shoes and I ask, "How did you get all these?" She takes me to the mirror and lifts up her dress. You see, this thing here belongs to the guy at the
It's a cliffhanger.
at the shoe store.
It's a cliffhanger.
At the shoe store. Your half is in the mirror. You have to figure out how to. Okay, so that was just a random thing I read off the chat.
It's random that you should
You
have
fill in the blanks.
read before you read it.
It was so I didn't even understand it by the end. I got too entranced in what was in the imagery of it.
Oh my!
So Matt with ace, Matt with aces, raises to 10. Couple callers. Now he's wheel draw and still aces, so pretty good flop for Matt. Yen just has an overpair, but it's only eights, and Alan flopped. I sometimes take a card off, even if I just have the one pair and I have backdoors. I don't think it's that bad to take off with heads up. Just get to a turn, maybe represent different turns, and often sometimes you just have one pair and it's just like sevens, but against certain hands, all your 2-pair draws are live, so that's in itself, 12 outs or 11 outs or something.
We have about 5 minutes left in the show. Thank you for joining us tonight. Never did fill up the table, but everyone played all night except for Henry, who's left us. He's playing 1-3 PLO.
Ariel in there with double suited hand, ace 883. Yen with some connecting, suiting, king 5-6-7ing type of thing. Matt with the 7 high, double suited as well. It's like Yen with a flush draw. Ariel just stabbing at it with bottom pair. She's gonna call. Three's in the lead right now. Board pairs. And this is a card I do like from Ariel, or just in general, to double barrel. It's very hard for your opponent to continue, even with different draws, when the board pairs, because like the full house is just already out there. You've shown strength, so those are usually the good times to double barrel when your opponent could just have various hands that don't include the card that paired. They know even if with a big draw they have to call this bet, and then they have to hit, and then they have to call another big bet possibly on a board where they already could have been drawing dead.
Yes, let's play big pot. That'd be fun.
Here it is. $5,000. $5,000. Actually, I don't know if there's 5,000 on the table. Let's see, 4,000. 48. Oh yeah, there's 5,300 on the table. Shove it. Roger has aces. Be fine playing a big pot. And Khan's going to defend a small 5-9-10 jack. It's an I-8 hand. It's I-8. That's in there. Yen is in there.
Well, we know what's going to happen here.
So
At least we know what one guy's going to do for sure.
yeah, Roger just with aces. Khan is middle pair and 10 high flush draw. Matt has pretty big hand. He has the king high flush draw, top pair, and double gutter. No, he has open ender. So Matt with the strongest hand here by far. And Yen with bottom 2. So Yen is technically ahead, but as you see, she's half the chance practically of winning compared to Matt. Roger's all in. I have a feeling he's not going to win this hand.
Well, he has a nut flush draw.
No, he does not. He has a backdoor nut flush
You're
draw.
absolutely right.
He does have a lot of black cards.
He does not have the nut flush draw. That's what I meant.
If you could use 3 in his hand, then
That's
you
what
have a spade
that's
draw.
what I was saying. You just
Right.
didn't understand.
Right.
He did not.
You're doing
have,
like in a
he did not
sarcastic.
have the nut flush draw.
He did not. When I say do, I mean do
Don't.
not. So Roger turned some more outs.
Turn a gutter.
Gutter. And Matt, the flush has gotten there. And no one's going to call anything at this point. That's going to do it for Roger. Roger that.
Roger that.
Roger
Another
that.
$100 coming out of the pocket. Roger that.
Yep. I don't think Pilo's not that great at cash game kind of game to keep buying in short. I mean, it's fun to. I just don't think you need to have like more barrels, you know. You can buy in semi-short, but if you buy in really short, it's just not that favorable. Like you're not going to be able to, a lot of pots, you're not going to be able to do that much to get someone off
No,
any
I think Roger's doing
hand.
all right.
I
If
mean,
he's only down,
he's a
5
nice
buy-ins.
man. He's a nice man. He's down 5 buy-ins, but that's as much as someone else's 1 buy-in. So in his mind,
it's no big deal.
he thinks he's up 2,000 instead of down 500.
Yep.
Science. It's
Good
math.
point.
Math and science. That's all it takes. Oh, here he is. Is he about to raise it up? Oh. He looked ready. Oh, he only looked at 1 card. Okay. Last PLO tournament I busted, I raised under the gun after looking at 1 card.
And how'd that go for you?
I busted.
Oh.
Yeah. It was an
Makes
ace,
sense.
though.
Makes sense.
It was an ace. So it was off. Roger, pretty nice hand. King, queen, queen, 10. Yeah, and ace, jack, 5 deuce. Enough flush draw. Matt with enough flush draw. And Con with a very nice little middling wrap stuff. Alan with enough flush draw as well. So Con smashed this flop. Looks like, well, bottom 2 an open ender. Oh, but Roger has smashed the flop. Top set and a gut shot. And yeah. So Roger and Con are going to get a lot of money in here. They should. Depends on their styles, but oh yeah, Roger only has 90. See, that's why you buy in for more, because you flop huge, and you just want to get all the monies, you know? Want to get all that money.
I like to pluralize
Yeah.
words.
So
Makes it
Ariel has the wraps, but it's the low wraps,
There you go.
sort of. It's actually not a wrap. It's just an open enders. But yeah, you don't want to get in the habit of playing those open enders when half your open ender is not going to be good very often. Roger waited all day.
Flop a set. Now, can it hold up?
I don't know, man. He's pretty far ahead. That one's safe. Oh, that one's not safe. Sorry, Raj. that was mean.
Look at him, poor Roger. Oh, he's still smiling though. Good for him. And he said, "Nice hand."
See, now if he
nice
had
guy.
more money, he would have probably lost more money, to be honest. But he could have. Nah, he probably would have lost more.
Yeah. Well, he could have got him off if he had more money, I bet.
Right. Good
and
points.
That's it. That is good
All
points.
good points that you made tonight.
I made a lot of good points. I hope you guys caught that. If not, you can go back and watch it later because made a really good point.
Yeah.
They're probably going to make a
reel.
book out of
what
I talked about tonight.
A book out of the words.
Yes.
So
that came
yeah,
out of my
that will
mouth.
exist.
Thank you for joining us. We'll be here next week, Tuesday night to be exact.